Welcome to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Avery Henningsen alongside Max Sturm here as we're set to bring you some North Atlantic Conference women's lacrosse action here between your Husson University Eagles and their perennial rivals in the Maine Maritime Academy Mariners. Max, this is set to be a really good contest here tonight. Obviously, the Eagles last year beating Maine Maritime in the playoffs.
Yeah, and honestly, you can't ask for a better matchup here today. These two teams, like you said, perennial rivals. This is not just an interconference rivalry. This is a personal rival. These two teams have gone back and forth year after year, and last year the Eagles beat the Mariners at the end of the season to knock the Mariners completely out of the playoffs. This year they're under new coaching from David Keenan in his first season, who previously coached at St. Joe's College of Maine, and formerly was a player for UMaine. And so he's got some experience under his belt. Again, these two teams just going to go at it tonight. They're both evenly matched. Both have they both have no losses in the conference so far this year. It's going to be a really interesting matchup. I'm so excited to call it.
Yeah, it's been an interesting kind of timeline between these two over my years here at Husson. Obviously, a couple years ago before Amanda DeHaze came in for the Eagles, Maine Maritime pretty much beat up on the Husson women's team every season, and then in her first year, they still beat up on them. And then I remember last year was that first switch around where kind of this group of players that Coach DeHaze has been kind of coaching up and the recruits that have come in, it was the first year that they swapped that kind of script around and it went from getting blown out to all of a sudden you're winning a 3-goal game.
Yeah, it's kind of been back and forth each and every year, but now these two teams for the first time are evenly matched. And remember, that first year with Amanda DeHaze, she came in with a team that didn't even have enough players to play a full roster out on the field. They played 2 women down all the time. So what she's been able to take this team up to in the past 3 years is nothing short of incredible, and we're set for a great matchup now between these two perennial rivals.
And we're going to be handing this one over to public address announcer Joseph Swanson here in just a moment as these two teams get set to get underway out there. And Max, I think we're definitely going to have a strong contest. You mentioned Coach Keenan for the Mariners. I know we were talking about DeHaze. He's a name that you got to watch out for. One of the better lacrosse coaches in the state of Maine, was really dominant with St. Joe's. And he's someone that can very easily take a team that performed well last season and then turn them into an even better team the next year.
Well, and you see what they've done. They're 6-1 on the year, 2-0 in the NAC, and I think something that he's really gone about enforcing into this team is not having that one player who does it all, right? Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about Hazel Stoddard tonight, who really is the leader in every single statistical category, but they have a lot of players on this team who are putting up even or similar numbers. Lillian Diversey, one of those players as well, just 4 goals behind Hazel Stoddard. So the way that he's built his team is equally impressive to what Amanda DeHaze has done for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I know from my years of playing sports, sometimes all it takes is that one coach who can kind of build a system with a team out there. You can have great players playing in the wrong system, and all of a sudden you're not as strong out there. And you can also have bad players playing in a really good system that all of a sudden kind of build their way up. But if you have good players playing a good system, that's a dangerous combo.
Something to be said about having experience for sure as a head coach.
And we're going to hand this one over for the national anthem and starting lineups and be right back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network.
Academy and your Eagles of Husson University. Husson University would like to thank its corporate sponsors: Adidas, DKI with Shark Cleaning and Restoration Incorporated, Buffalo Wild Wings, Karen Signs, Casella, Chick-fil-A, Courtyard by Marriott Bangor, Creative Bird Services, Cross Insurance, Sear Bus Line, Domino's, Down East Orthopedics, Dice Hearts, First National Bank, Gatorade, Greenway Equipment Sales, Hammond Lumber Company, Harvest Moon Deli, Hero Sports Grill Entertainment Center, Holiday Inn, Pepsi, Pizzeria Uno, Ron's Moving, Saco Bay Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy, School Street Picture Framing Incorporated, Ticket Smarter, U.S. Air Force, Barney Buick GMC Mazda, and White Sporting Goods. The NCAA North Atlantic Conference in Husson University throw good sportsmanship by the student-athletes, coaches, and spectators at tonight's contest. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds removal from Boucher Field. At this time, let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's contest. First, for the visiting Mariners. A senior midfielder, number 1, Hazel Stoddard. A junior goalkeeper, number 3, Ella Bose. A sophomore attack, number 4, Lillian DeBercy. A junior midfielder, number 6, Rebecca Karen. A senior midfielder, number 7, Kiara Magagne. A freshman midfielder, number 9, Hadley Stoddard. A sophomore defender, number 11, Abby Wong. A senior defender, number 13, Sadie Velozo. A sophomore attack, number 16, Bella Scalaro. A freshman attack, number 20, Isabella De Silva. A freshman defender, number 21, Margaret Sledge. And a freshman midfielder, number 23, Caitlin Lamb. Maine Maritime Academy is under the direction of head coach David Kiernan and he's assisted by Steve Peed and Mackenzie Ward. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Husson University Eagles. A junior from Farmingdale, Maine, number 1, Avery Baker. A senior from Hyde Park, Vermont, number 5, Maddie Benoit. A senior from Georgia, Vermont, number 7, Sydney Heck. A junior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 10, Layla Martinez. A freshman from Shelburne, Vermont, number 11, Kate Bemke. A junior from Wilder, Vermont, number 12, Gracie Gardner. A senior from Reedfield, Maine, number 14, Natalie Witten. A senior from Concord, New Hampshire, number 15, Jordan Lengel. A senior from Richmond, Rhode Island, number 17, Montana Carrier. A sophomore from Goro, Maine, number 19, Riley Menard. A goal, a senior from Lewiston, Maine, number 22, Emma Peaks. And a sophomore from Corona, Maine, number 24, Jory Boyd. The Eagles are coached by Amanda DeHaze, and she's assisted by Caitlin Doloff. Fans, at this time, we ask you please rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Once again, Avery Henningsen alongside Max Sturm here tonight as we are about to get underway here at Boucher Field. The Eagles will be wearing their all white and green uniforms here. Looks like they're going to be going from left to right, while Maine Maritime coming in with the clashing all black on yellow here, or yellow on all black, that is. And they'll be moving right to left as we're just about set to have the first draw control of the contest to see who can control this one early.
And it's going to be Jordan Langle and Hazel Stoddard going at it at the draw control. Jordan Langle with 18 draw control wins this year. Stoddard with 21, pretty evenly matched. And I think that just goes back to what we were talking about in the pregame, really how tightly contested this game is going to be. The stats are almost identical for so many of these players and just team stats in general. This is going to be a fantastic game, Avery. Let's go.
Yeah, this should be close throughout, and we are just about set to get underway here as first draw control about to go up here. And this first one popped towards the Eagles' offensive end, and it's going to be scooped up by Stoddard. Stoddard over the top. This one thought about the shot there, but it's going to pull it away.
So Scalaro is going to set it up behind the net and kind of let the Mariners get their personnel on and set up the way that they want. This is something that they do very well. They're not too quick on the offensive end, but it results in better production overall.
Scalaro getting pushed away there by Boyd. The Eagles' defense has been pretty strong this season. A lot of veteran players on the defensive end.
Maddie Benoit's one of those players, and she's going to be tasked with kind of looking after Hazel Stoddard all day, but so is Layla Martinez, who's currently guarding her right now. They appear to be in some sort of zone defense right now.
This one sent in, and that's Karen who's going to fall to the floor. It looks like she's going to get a free position attempt out of it.
Jory Boyd came in and made the hit, but honestly, that might have been a good foul. Could have saved the goal here. Instead, you have a chance to play some defense.
And going over the top, and the save there from Emma Began as she gets her stick right in front of that one.
And I think that ended up working out the way exactly they wanted to. Jory Boyd will take the violation there. It gave a free position shot opportunity, but some great defense on that by the Eagles prevents the goal. Still 0-0.
Yeah, Boyd played for the Eagles 2 years ago and then missed last season. And I think they're definitely happy to have her back on the defensive end. Very physical presence on the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles. Sounds like De Silva getting her first green card of the contest. For a hit over on the far side to Baker. The Eagles turning the ball right back over to the Mariners, though. So it looks like Scalaro, kind of the player for the Mariners, who holds on to it back on the backside of the goal.
And we'll see what the whistles are. I thought I heard one when Scalaro was running it back into the alley in the corner over there. Everyone continued to keep moving, but the refs stopped the game. It looks like maybe there was some sort of violation on the Mariners, and it's going to be turned over. Sydney Heth with the ball now.
This one's going to get handed to Benoit. Benoit last season played a lot more in kind of the midfield role for the Eagles. This year moving it to a little bit more of a defensive midfield role. Obviously, Husson, a very strong attack.
And another whistle. It's going to be another green card on the Mariners. This time, it'll be Hadley Stoddard entering the box. So now the Eagles 2 women up.
I like she called the offsides on that one. Hadley Stoddard, the younger sister of Hazel Stoddard, obviously one of the stars for this Maine Maritime team.
So the Eagles will set it up here. Be their first real possession in the offensive zone. In the last game versus Linden, we saw them really run around and make a bunch of cuts through the middle. That's what makes their offense so special and why they're so productive, the movement inside the circle.
And there'll be a player up right now as well. Great time to try to capitalize.
So there'll be 38 seconds remaining on this penalty. The Eagles will work quickly here, move it around. They do have some time, though.
This one inside to Benoit, tries to get the shot off. That one just wide of the goal. It looks like the Eagles will maintain possession on the back end, though.
You mentioned Maddie Benoit being more in a defensive role this year, but they still play her in the offensive end because she has that skill set, can make those shots. She made a good catch inside the circle, just wasn't able to get a good shot because of the defense from the Mariners.
This one sent into Benoit and score as Maddie Benoit gets the Eagles on the board early here.
Right on cue, Maddie Benoit comes around from the other side this time, wrapped all the way around the crease and received the pass right in front of the net, unguarded. Just does a good job placing it over the shoulder of the goaltender, Ella Bose. And the Eagles up 1-0 early in this game.
Yeah, that was a great pass and catch and shot on that one. And that's really, I think, in women's lacrosse, how you can break a team down, is being able to catch a ball on the run like that. I was just about to say, Benoit, one of the better ball handlers for this Eagles squad, and one of the better players at kind of catching on the run and shooting right away.
Absolutely. And then we talked about that movement within the circle earlier too. It forces those defenders in a man or in a woman-on-woman situation to move out of the circle or wherever their assignment is, and it opens up that middle of the field. Maddie Benoit able to get a step, cut in, receive the pass, and lay the shot in.
That one popped up in the air. Benoit and Lengo fighting for it for the Eagles. And I think it's going to be a violation there on the Mariners. So the Eagles a chance here to try to make this one a 2-score lead.
A lot of whistles early on in this one. This time it's going to go against the Eagles. I think they're going to say offsides again.
Two teams right now seem to struggle a little bit with some of the assignments out there.
Here's Hazel Stoddard making her way up. She's so quick on this run. She's going to get hit, and it will be another violation. This one will just reset it at the top, and Natalie Witten's going to come out into the box.
I think just trying to slow down Stoddard on that one. Part of the reason I think Stoddard, one of the better players in this conference. It's going to be a 2-minute penalty there on Witten.
So this is a huge opportunity to get yourself back into the game. If you're the Mariners, you're already down 1 goal. And now you've got quite a bit of time to work with, 2 minutes. So set up your offense the exact way you want. You run plays in a woman-up situation all week long in preparation for this game. And you got to capitalize if you're the Mariners in a close game.
Yeah, and so far, these referees not allowing the players to get away with much. Seen a lot of penalties early on in this one already.
Yeah, 3 total penalties already within the first 5 minutes of this game, 4 minutes of this game.
This one passed inside, knocked away, and it winds up in the sit of Beegs out there.
And they tried to get it to, I believe, number 7.
There's Scolaro trying to go up through the middle. Going to get pushed away by the Eagles.
Great interior defense by the Eagles, forcing the Mariners outside everywhere that they are.
That's Hadley Stoddard trying to come up through the middle.
A triple team effort there that time with Montana, Langle, I believe Sydney Heth on the end there. No, that's Jory Boyd. I think we might end up with a free position shot here.
This is Scolaro again here. Going to go inside, pushed away, and that one winds its way into the back of the net. Past Emma Beegan's stick, and the Mariners managed to capitalize on a free position of their own.
So Scolaro, instead of running straight to the net like a lot of people think is the fastest way to get to the goaltender, instead makes a move inside around, I believe Maddie Benoit was the one standing there and able to do something similar that they did on the other side and just place the ball super well over the shoulder of Emma Beegan. And now we're tied. Avery, we talked about this game going to be back and forth all day, and we're seeing the early signs of that.
And right now, both teams haven't capitalized on a woman up situation. Obviously, those are kind of similar to hockey. On a power play, it's gives you your best opportunity to try to score out there.
Yeah, and the conversion of a woman up opportunity is so important in close games, but really in any situation, it allows you to build that lead or, claw your way back in if you're playing from behind. It's such an advantage to have an extra player out there. And so far, Mariners do a good job converting on their first opportunity.
Yeah, and this is that time of day where sometimes it can be tricky seeing things as well out there. This Boucher Field is kind of known for the sun setting kind of behind the press box, being right in the eyes of the players on that far side where the Mariners are. And that one, upper corner, Layla Martinez, as she puts that one home over the top of the keeper.
Eagles work through the shooting circle again. This time Martinez finds the pass inside in front of the shooting circle, or in front of the goaltender rather, in a very similar play to what Maddie Benoit made earlier. Finding the open space, getting her hands just free enough to lay that shot in past the goaltender. 2-1 Eagles. And like you said, Avery, the sun kind of pokes through around this time of day. You wonder if that's having any effect on these goaltenders.
Well, I think especially for the Mariners on their side, I know that's the side that's kind of known for just being really tricky. If you look up kind of towards where the camera's pointing, you kind of have the sun directly in your eyes up over top of the press box.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get it wrong. Began on the other side is also fighting that sun, but playing on this field in the past myself, I can definitely say that side of the field is much harder to see when the sun is laying over like it is right now.
This one scooped up by Avery Baker inside, tried to do a little shovel shot in towards the goal, and maybe a little mess down in front of the net. We'll see which way the foul goes.
Mariners will take it. They're going to try and get a quick jump right here, but a mishandle.
And a big hit there from Lengel. I don't even think that was intentional. I think just trying to come in and clean up that ground ball. And the player there for the Mariners in Brianna Kerr just kind of head down looking for it. Didn't see Lengel coming.
Yeah, totally unintentional, and they don't call a green card on that. Good job by the referees letting that one go and just resetting the possession for the Mariners.
That's Abby Wong trying to take it up the left side. Now going to give it back over to the middle of the field. It's Kira Magana, one of the stars for the women's soccer team for the Mariners. Got 3 or 4 players for this Mariners team that play both women's lacrosse and women's soccer for the Mariners down in Castine.
I believe both the Stoddards play for the soccer team as well. Speaking of, here's Hazel Stoddard trying to lay it inside.
Yeah, Hazel Stoddard, one of the all-time minutes-wise players for the Mariners. I believe she leads their women's soccer team in
Eagles are going to have a chance at a break here.
This one sent into the middle. Baker back inside to Bemke, and that one right over the top of the crossbar.
That was a play that was set up so well. Baker receiving the pass, and instead of going for the shot, tried to get it into Bemke, who has also been incredible this season. They came into this game both with 14 goals, which they both lead the team tied for first, and just a little bit too high off of good defense, or is forced too high because of good defense by the Mariners.
That one turned over by Lengel. Trying to pressure. That's Magana again.
Yeah, notice how the Eagles aren't falling back into the defensive zone. They are playing aggressive transition defense here in this game early on, and I think that's exactly what they need to do. They just can't get beat on the far side right here where they're going to be down.
Some good passing right now from the Mariners, trying to split through the middle of this Eagles defense. Looks like Husson's going to be able to get back in time and set up into their defensive shell. And the Mariners setting up into their offensive shell on the flip side. Right now just kind of standing with the ball at the top of the key.
Waiting to call plays, trying to get a call from David Keenan, the coach for the Mariners, try to find their best option inside.
That one sent inside, quick catch and shot. I think that was a Lillian Diversey on that one. As she puts the Mariners back up even here with the Eagles.
Lillian Diversey adding to her impressive resume this season. Her 23rd goal of the year and 81st of her career. Avery, last week versus Farmington, she put up 6 goals in their 18-5 win. So no doubt they're going to look to get back to her. That puts her within 3 of Haley Stoddard on the season, giving her, again, a total of 23 on the year. They do a good job just feeding her inside. And all of these goals so far, Avery, have come from right in front of the net, the doorstep shots. And it's because of the movement on offense that those are able to be open.
Yeah, that one, it looked like they almost lulled the Eagles' defense to sleep a little bit, just kind of stood with the ball for 20 seconds, and then all of a sudden a player cut inside, and easy shot and score.
That's a good point. You can't get too relaxed on the defensive end, and maybe that's what the Mariners were intending, but yeah, they held it there for a while before they made a move.
And Hazel Stoddard gives this one over to Scalaro out on the right wing. Scalaro trying to cut inside, manages to get the pass over to Diversey.
Scalaro a little slow to get up. I don't know if that's what the whistle is going to be. No, we're going to have a violation.
That might be.
It's going to be a violation on the Eagles, I believe. Crocker.
So referee stopping the clock again here.
Bit of confusion out on the field right now.
I think it's with the shot clock.
Yep. So a free position coming up now for Hadley Stoddard.
Trying to cut her way inside, and good footwork by Stoddard as she puts that one home. And that was just kind of weaving her way up through the middle, Max. I thought she was going to pass that one off, but instead chose to take it herself.
Hadley Stoddard said, I'll do it myself, and dodges and weave it through the defense of the Eagles right in front of that goal where they've been very successful all game so far, and they're going to take their very first lead of the game.
Back-to-back goals here for the Mariners puts them up 3-2. I can imagine probably some of the backyard battles between Hadley and Hazel in a couple different sports out there. Probably kind of iron sharpens iron out there.
Oh, absolutely, and you know that they definitely go back and forth in the off season, playing a little bit of one-on-one, and you know that does a lot of help for you. Like, you learn a lot just from those one-on-ones. You can do a lot in the off season to get better, and it appears that Hadley Stoddard definitely did.
That was great stick work for a moment there from Benoit, and then just a little rushed on the pass on the far side. Winds up turning it back over to the Mariners. And it looks like a timeout called here.
Yeah, but I think the Mariners called a timeout, didn't really like what they saw going into transition. Didn't want Ella Bowes to have to hold on to it for too long.
And we'll take a quick break here as well on the Husson Eagles Sports Network and be right back. Welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Henningsen alongside Max Sturm here right now. Mariners leading this one 3-2. I think that timeout just being taken to reset their offense a little bit right now, deep in their own end, trying to push it up the field.
And Avery, so far we've seen a game of cat and mouse, really, where the Eagles went up and started with the lead for a bit there, and then the Mariners fighting their way back, scoring 2 straight, capitalizing on 2 free position plays so far, and they're looking to extend their lead. They are so quick in transition, but Eagles doing a good job stopping them.
That's that midfield presence so far for the Mariners that I think has been making the difference. Really not struggled at pushing it up the field against the Eagles that much.
Eagles aren't making it too easy for them, but I think the amount of speed that they have on this team is really underrated, and it gets them up the field real quickly.
Well, both Stoddard and Magana have shown the ability to kind of just get the ball 70 yards away and then push their way up the field. So when a shot low, blocked away by Began, and it's going to get scooped up by the defense and back out to Began.
Fantastic awareness by Began, just kind of closing her feet there to make the save off the shot from Karen. It was a fast shot. It was going to hit the ground, and those bouncers are tough, so the best thing you can do is stop it with your feet right there. Began does a fantastic job of that and lays it out to a teammate to put the Eagles back in the offensive end.
It's going to be a yellow card awarded to Magana there.
So a 2-minute woman up opportunity on the horizon here for the Eagles. And Avery, this is super important to convert. You've got a lot of time. You got to be patient and run your plays. Think about it. They can put themselves back at a tie game here with this woman up advantage. It'll be interesting to see exactly what Amanda DeHaze has planned out for the Eagles on their 3rd woman up opportunity of the game.
Lengel to the back post here. That's Martinez who's going to find Gardner. I think in these situations, you try to find some of your better ball handlers. This one sent inside to Baker, who scores just a couple seconds after the penalty. Avery Baker on this one back up at 3 apiece.
Baker runs around the right side or the close side of that crease there, something that the Eagles have been doing all game. We saw it from Benoit earlier, and just receiving that feed from Benoit. Did a little hesitation while facing outward and then turned around and laid it. A bounce shot past the goalkeeper, Bowes. Tied up here. The penalty is released. Back to even.
Yeah, Baker. There's a lot of work in the offseason on kind of that ability to catch it with her back to the goal and then spin and still manage to find that open space in the net.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of extra time to get that correct shot. Sure, you still have to be quick, but catches it, thinks about which is the best way to go, analyzes the field, finds out that turning to her left was the best option, and it was, as she was able to cash that one in.
This one popped up in the air, and Lengel's going to take it away. I think that's part of the reason the Eagles have her in that position. The center for the women's basketball team has probably the most height of anyone on the field. Can definitely kind of get up a little bit higher than anyone else.
Yeah, she can take the draw controls, and she can take the tip-offs in basketball as well. It's kind of been her specialty, and she can produce on the offensive end as well. We've seen her score some goals here this year, but that is definitely her strong suit.
Yeah, I think last season, her first year of college lacrosse in her junior year, so obviously there's a side of it that is still just kind of learning some of the stick skills and some of the just kind of flow of the game.
A violation here is going to give Gracie Gardner a free position shot. Now, this is a tough one. This is one where maybe you pass first and you don't take the shot because of the angle.
See if she tries to find another player. It's going to cut her way inside, blocked away by the keeper, though. That's Bowes who managed to knock it away, scooped up by Baker, though. Eagles still have 40 seconds here, enough time to kind of reset offensively. This one outside to Martinez.
And keep an eye out for Martinez. She can make you miss. She is so shifty around the shooting circle. We saw her score one already today.
Under 20 seconds here on the shot clock. That pass too high. Looks like Benoit's going to get there for the Eagles, though. Trying to scoop it back up. 8 seconds here. Husson's just going to have to rip a shot from distance. Martinez, I don't think they quite knew where the shot clock was. That one, a shot from Baker, but I think too late after the clock had already run out.
That would have been close if Baker was able to find the back of the net on that one, but regardless, a fantastic job working against the clock. Martinez, your fastest player, runs it all the way back up and makes the feed inside to Avery Baker, but looks like she got a card, and so now the Mariners with a woman up opportunity.
I think it might have been for a dangerous shot. I know you're not allowed to shoot up around the head of other players who are right in kind of your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I think that is what it is, and it's tough, especially when you're running against the clock. You're just getting any shot that you can off, but regardless, 2-minute woman up opportunity for the Mariners here, looking to recapture their lead.
And Stoddard just weaving her way through the defense, and that one knocked away by, I believe, Carrier on that one. It's going to be scooped up by Lengel. The Eagles are going to try to kill off this penalty.
Yep, they just got to run it up the field and settle it down. Ball's going to come loose, but it's going to be a violation here on the Mariners. Might have been a illegal hit.
Yeah, trying to jockey that one loose from Lengel.
Eagles smartly going to get it to Benoit here. They're just trying to get it across the half line where they can finally settle it down. A minute left. Smart move here would be work it around the outside, maybe take it behind the crease.
Yeah, because that way if you at least lose possession of the ball, you're still kind of in a spot where Maine Maritime has to push it up the field.
Yeah, and Maine Maritime hasn't played a lot of defense behind the crease. Now they will with De Silva.
Could be a time, though, for the Eagles to try to capitalize. Obviously, Maine Maritime thinking Husson's just going to run out the clock here.
They're going to have about 10 seconds to work with once they're back at even strength, so you wonder if they will try and just run their offense and get a shot off here. But the dangerous part about that is you still will be woman down if you take a shot and the goaltender, Bose, is able to lay it out.
That one lost momentarily by Lengel, but it's going to be scooped up by Martinez. Penalty releases.
So now you got 9 seconds to work with.
Martinez in towards the middle. This one bouncing around. It's eventually going to get scooped back up by Maine Maritime. But still, I think a productive use of the ball there by the Eagles.
Yeah, that was a fantastic penalty kill. Normally you're spending most of your time in the defensive zone. Eagles do a great job of securing that ball and finding a way into their offensive zone and keeping it away with some quick stick work.
And that will run out the end of the quarter. And Max, we said it was going to be a close one. 3-3 at the end of the first. We'll be back for the second quarter action. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Hanks alongside Max Sturm here as we enter the second quarter of action here tonight between your Husson University Eagles and the Maine Maritime Academy Mariners. Right now, 3-3, back and forth contest, Max.
Yeah, we couldn't ask for a better start. Hold on, we got a fast break early.
That one, a good job there by Boyd, I think, to push Hadley Stoddard away. Kind of got that head of steam that we've seen already in this contest moving forward.
Yep, she's already scored by using her speed once, so we might actually end up with that hit. Nope, they're going to work it around the outside. Looked like they were setting up for a free position for a second, but back to what I was trying to say. Couldn't have asked for a better start to this game. 3-3, very closely contested between the North Atlantic Conference's top two teams right now. The winner will determine who takes sole possession of the lead.
That one, a great pass inside and score. That was Scorlaro with the score on that one. Her second of the contest.
Scolaro is going to get her third of the year on a great, a lot of good feeds inside, really, is what we're seeing from both the Mariners and the Eagles. Just getting that ball placed perfectly in front of the net and allowing a shot right in front of the goaltender with no defense in front.
Yeah, that was some good passing there from the Eagles. As Scolaro gets her second of the contest.
So that would be her fourth of the season. So they'll go ahead and they'll take the lead again. They had built a 1-point lead earlier after the goal from Hadley Stoddard. Baker came back and tied it up. And they're able to pull back ahead with Bella Scolaro making the play.
Yeah, it seems like so far it's been a lot of these ones where whoever kind of gets possession of it on offense has a pretty good chance at scoring.
The draw controls are super important. It gets you that initial possession and the first opportunity to score. Green card going to be assessed here to Brianna Kerr. So a woman up opportunity coming up for the Eagles. They need a chance to tie it, and they will. They'll have a minute this time. So don't be surprised to see them work a little bit quicker this time around. Another whistle. I think there's a bit of confusion here, Avery, out on the field.
They're just trying to figure out how many players are allowed by both teams.
Now they've got it sorted out.
This one inside to Lengel, or Bemke, that is. This one's going to be over the backside, and a great job by Martinez to keep that one in bounds.
Oh, it looked like she might have kept it in bounds, but referee's going to say it crossed the line, and I think it might have. Regardless, great effort. Something else I want to bring up, Avery, is we haven't seen too much of Hazel Stoddard in this one so far. Again, came in as the leader for most of the statistical categories here, including goals with 26. And you'd think maybe that would be because the Eagles are trying to lock her off. But I talked to Maddie Benoit for the Eagles earlier this week, who said, we just got to play our defense the way that we do. We can't afford to allow other threats on this Mariners team to have a chance to score because we're putting too much attention on Hazel Stoddard. So
and that's a shot and score from Gardner as she gets the pass over the top. Not to cut you off there, Max, but the Eagles nodding this one back up. So we continue to just kind of have a back-and-forth scoring affair.
Yep, like we said, cat and mouse, and this time Gracie Gardner getting in on the action. She had the free position opportunity earlier. This time, a feed inside in front of the net. Something we're going to continue to say, I think, as that is really the Eagles' offensive game plan, is just cutting through and getting the open space. I believe that pass came from Baker, behind the net. So great awareness from Gardner to find that one and lay it in behind the net.
The Eagles again taking advantage of that woman up situation, turned the ball over, but then I think the Mariners got kind of called for time wasting there, holding onto the ball for a long time inside of the crease.
Yeah, they're just trying to kill off that penalty, but you have to advance the ball.
Whitten inside to Baker. Baker with some space in front of her is going to cut to the right. And I think she's going to get the free position attempt here for the Eagles.
She is just a little bit too much contact in that shooting circle, and Avery Baker is the last one you want to take that free position shot if you're the Mariners.
There's a good angle here from the right side as well. What a great job defensively there from the Mariners. Just kind of shut that down.
Yeah, Velzo stepping right in front of Baker. A fantastic defensive stop on one of the Eagles' best players.
Almost looked like Baker wasn't quite ready for the start of the free position attempt there. Yeah, normally you kind of see him like go out as soon as that whistle blows.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just a timing thing or if she just wasn't able to get that first step on Velzo, but regardless, we're going to have another free position shot. I think this one's Benoit.
And I know Benoit works on these a lot in the offseason. He's going to cut inside and gets it knocked away. Well, another whistle here. So Benoit will get a second chance at it.
That one will be off the contact from Wong on Benoit, so Benoit will get a chance a little bit closer in front of the net this time.
Benoit cutting inside, crashing in towards the goal, and that one wide. It's going to stay with the Eagles, though. So a couple free position attempts blocked away by the Mariners. Kind of weathering the storm right now from this Eagles offensive group.
And the Eagles came into today with 17 free position goals on the year, something they're super strong at converting. But Mariners clearly had a plan to stop it.
And that one blocked away at the line. What a play from the keeper there in Bows. And they're going to give that one back to the Mariners. It looks like Bemke, for a second there, had made a great defensive play.
Yeah, this is the most whistles I've seen in a game in a while. Game is getting stopped quite frequently. We'll have another one right there, and now it's turned over again. So Bemke's play ultimately works out. Like you said earlier, the player's not really getting away with anything this time.
This one sent inside. Baker with a shot knocked away by Bows again. And that's going to be a foul there on Carrier, I believe. Or actually, no. That was Riley Maynard, actually.
Yep, so the ball was on the ground and just a little bit too physical there by Riley Maynard. So she'll go into the box. Woman up opportunity for the Mariners. It'll start back in the defensive zone. So you wonder how much pressure the Eagles are going to put on to stop them from crossing the line. It looks like they'll put a significant amount with Langle.
So great job there from the Mariners. Weathered 4 or 5 shots there from the Eagles. Now a chance at the opposite end to try to put themselves back in the lead here.
Been tied up for a little bit longer than we've been used to. It's been back and forth all day. Mariners have had the lead multiple times at this point, but the Eagles just keep clawing their way back into it.
This one sent inside and score there from the Mariners as they go back up by 1. I think that was Diversey potentially.
Yep, that's going to be Diversey with her second goal of the game. And that time, just running through the shooting circle, was able to beat out Sydney Heth to the point, make the catch. And that was kind of a tough angle. It wasn't exactly right in front of the net. She had to turn around, sort of, jumping in the air to make that one go. Mariners taking a 5-4 lead here.
Yeah, Diversey went flying after that one, too. Physical hit inside there from the Eagles.
Back and forth all day long is what we've been seeing. And Diversity with her 24th goal on the season, kind of stepping up in the place of Hazel Stoddard, as she has not really had, she's been kind of quiet early on in this game, but she delivered the pass on that one. So finding a way to be involved in other ways. A draw control violation, going to give the Eagles possession here. The Mariners were too early on that.
This is Bemke with it into the middle here at Benoit. Back to Bemke. We haven't really said her name on the offensive side a whole lot in this contest. And that one knocked away by Hadley Stoddard.
Be careful.
Those two kind of fighting at the top right now in terms of Rookie of the Year type standings. And Stoddard trying to take this one coast to coast. Gets it knocked away for a second by Boyd.
Jory Boyd has stopped several fast breaks at this point that could have led to goals. We know how fast Hadley Stoddard is and what she's able to do with her feet. Jory Boyd just steps right in front of it and forces her back outside. Is able to draw the correct contact to not draw the foul. Fantastic job by the Eagles recovering there.
Yeah, Boyd, a very physical player. This one, another ball inside and blocked away by Began. And she's going to scoop it up as well. Good job there from the senior goalkeeper for the Eagles.
Emma Began scoring her first career goal last week versus VTSU Linden. And both these goaltenders, Began and Bowes, putting on a show in front of the net. They've let up some goals, but they've also faced a lot of shots directly in front of the net. Those doorstep shots are not easy to make a play on, and they have several times already in this one.
This one out wide to Baker. She's going to draw the shooting space call on that one. And I've seen it a lot with some of the better offensive players in the conference, Max, is that ability to kind of step into the foul. And it feels a little bit wrong, I guess, but you're kind of intentionally drawing that foul by just kind of ducking your head in towards the defensive player.
Yeah, there's no rule against it, so why not go ahead and draw that contact? The only thing it can do is give you an opportunity to put a goal up on the board.
And Martinez doing the exact same thing right there.
She'll get a little bit of a closer shot working from that inner circle. And Martinez is fast, Avery. Don't be surprised to see her just take off towards the net.
Martinez cutting inside and scores for the Eagles as she nets this one back up at 5 apiece. Martinez, I think, from the free position circle, one of the more dangerous players just because of that speed, Max.
Well, we talk about it. Martinez, whatever sport she's playing, whether it's lacrosse or basketball, she has a chance to make you pay with her feet, and she does right there. That is Martinez's second goal of the game, number 9 on the season, and she converts, ties this game back up. We're going to be talking about this all day, just how back and forth it is, because we really haven't seen a 2-goal lead yet, Avery. It's been only 1-goal leads. Each team stepping out in front several times. The Mariners have kind of taken advantage of that. You wonder if the Eagles are going to go back-to-back at some point and reclaim that lead, because you know they'd feel a lot safer if that were the case.
Yeah, and we'll see if whichever team can manage to get up to that couple-goal lead. I think that's one you could try to hold on to for a lot of this contest.
Yeah, I wonder if your defensive game plan changes once you go up several goals. When you're fighting just 1 goal down, or 1 goal up, rather, you're still playing that aggressive defense because they have a chance to tie. You might be able to settle in and let your defense relax a little bit more with a multiple-goal lead. Sydney Heth took a shot right there. Glad to see her get back up. Might have been cut up a little bit, but able to draw the foul regardless. That'll be number 20, Isabella De Silva, making her way to the box.
Yeah, it looked like De Silva kind of got her stick in between the legs there of Heth, knocked her to the ground.
So a 1-minute woman-up opportunity starting back behind the midfield line. Don't be surprised. She's going to get this to Martinez. Martinez might just take off. No, she'll get it up to Baker. Smart play.
That's a fortunate call there, though, for the Eagles, Max. It looked like Maine Maritime was going to be taking that one the other way with one of the Eagles' best defenders down on the turf. And instead, now the Eagles will have the woman-up situation coming right off that last goal.
And a real big chance to take the lead here. Natalie Witten's going to get a chance here to tie it up. This is a tough angle, though, especially as a right-hander.
And she's going to try to go over the right shoulder, or the left shoulder of the keeper. It gets it knocked away, though. And that one, a little shovel pass. I think that was Bemke who tried to put a shot on, but it's going to stay with the Eagles.
That was a crucial play there by the Eagles to keep it in their offensive zone. That looked like it could have been.
And Bemke with the score, just kind of ducking her way through the defense and puts the Eagles up 6-5 now.
We said that Bemke really hadn't been involved too much on the offense. Well, there it is, Avery. She nets her first of the game and gives the Eagles the lead once again for the first time since the first quarter. And now you wonder what their offensive game plan is going to be. Are they just going to continue to be ultra aggressive and get that multiple goal lead? Or are they going to take some time on the offensive end to settle it down and run out the clock, the shot clock rather, and then take the shot?
I think against this Mariners team, I think every goal matters. I consider it like a goal to be a couple minutes off the clock almost.
Yep.
Or I guess kind of a possession, a minute and a half off the clock. Each time you can put another one home. It just allows you to feel that little bit safer. This is too dangerous of an offense to kind of allow it to stay a one-score game, I think, if you're the Eagles.
Absolutely, but you can make that time even longer by using the majority of your shot clock as well. You have 90 seconds to work your offense and get a shot off. If you can do that, take away like 50, 60 seconds and then get a shot, you can really take a lot of time off.
This one, back post, Scorlara with the shot and score as she gets her hat trick in the contest, as that was Stoddard who brought it right up through the middle of the field. It looked like kind of confusion there in the middle, and all of a sudden the Eagles weren't in a good defensive position.
Yeah, the Eagles not doing too well on the fast breaks apart from the defensive fast breaks as far as this game goes so far. Jory Boyd has had several plays where she saved some goal-scoring opportunities, but other than that, the midfield transition defense has been lackluster for the Eagles, and it's allowed the Mariners to run down the field very quickly with their speedy players and net some goals. That lead did not last very long.
Yeah, I think when the Eagles can set up into their defensive stance, very, very strong defensively, but I think struggling, like you said, with some of that speed on the defensive midfield side of things. If Benoit is up on the offensive side of things, all of a sudden there's just no one who can kind of keep up with a couple of those players in the middle.
Well, I think the Eagles just need to fall in on defense at this point. Their ultra-aggressiveness has not really made too much of a difference for them in the midfield. Sure, it's slowed them down, chewed up a little bit more of that shot clock.
And Baker to win with the shot and saved by the keeper. Again, Bowes putting one and a second one as she catches two cleanly out of the air, Max.
Wow, what a few good plays by Bowes to prevent the Eagles from retaking the lead off several shots there. But kind of back to what I was saying, that transition defense for the Eagles should definitely fall in because it hasn't been very effective. It hasn't been game-changing for them. And I think they stand a better chance against these Mariners fast breaks if they can just fall in and settle into the defense that they are used to and comfortable with running.
And Baker's going to go out wide here to Lengel. Bowes so far putting on a clinic in net. Obviously has allowed the 6 goals, but I think has faced triple the shots.
Bumke's going to get a chance with a free position shot here. And this is a good angle. And don't be surprised. Bumke's got some speed too, but she might also pass it away. Martinez on the other side.
And Bemke driving her way through the middle and scoring. Just kind of using power rather than speed. The defensive players got there first. but Bemke just took it herself.
Yeah, and some good stick movement, too, moving it left to right. You got cradles where you're just trying to keep the ball in your stick, right? But you also have evasive stick handling, and she uses that right there to get past the Mariners defenders, give her that chance in front of the net, and she nets it home for her second of the game.
Yeah, Bemke so far, both her goals just kind of bulldozing her way right through the middle of defenders. Not exactly running away from players. Obviously, a lot of speed for this Mariners team. So that puts the Eagles up 1 again here.
And Avery, I can't stress how important these draw controls are going to be, especially as we make our way into the second half with a very close game here. Whoever comes out on top of the majority of these could end up being who wins the game. Here's a opportunity now for the Mariners.
And this is one of those fast break opportunities we talked about, as Stoddard's going to get knocked down, trying to pass that one inside.
So free position shot coming up. It's going to be for Lillian Diversey, who already has 2 in this one. She's been given a lot of space right here. She's going to pass it away.
That one's going to get scooped up by Martinez, but gets it knocked away by Stoddard. Stoddard with the bounce shot. And it looks like Heth is going to get to the sideline first for the Eagles.
Fantastic effort by Heth to outrace Diversey and get the ball back as they have the lead. And these are the kind of plays that are going to win you the game. If you can, while you're up, make those defensive stops and give yourselves opportunities on the offensive end to go and take the lead. And they're going to have another one here. They're going to set it up.
That was a great little outlet pass there from Benoit to Baker. And now the Eagles time to set back up on offense. About a minute to work with here.
Yep, and you see them working kind of around the net again, looking for those cuts.
That one to Wynn, and she scores. The Eagles taking the first 2-goal lead of the contest.
Gardner to Langle, and finally to Witten on the inside, who made a cut from outside the shooting circle on the close side here. These cuts have been killing the Mariners all day. They have not seen them coming. And this time Witten with a quick one-timer shot, catch and release past the goaltender. Now here's this multiple goal lead that we've talked about. And I think you're right. I think you have to continue to push the pace and put your foot on the gas pedal down the stretch here of the second quarter or the first half. And continue to try and stretch your lead as much as you can. But I think you also might start using a little bit more of that shot clock to take away as much time that you can from the Mariners.
Yeah, I don't think the Eagles are quite in that kind of stand around with the ball for the full 90 seconds, but definitely, like you said,
yeah, you could
hold on to the ball for 30 seconds and then use that final minute to try to get something going
right,
offensively.
Exactly. You can't stay stagnant for too long because the Mariners' defense is good. They will find a way to force a turnover in those 90 seconds, but using as much of it as you can, and then when they start applying that real pressure 30, 40 seconds in, you take advantage and you attack.
So this will be another foul here on Magana. Her second time coming to the sideline in the contest.
And this is going to give the Eagles yet another woman-up opportunity. 1 minute this time. They have really... Now this is where you work quickly. You don't worry about the shot clock. You're trying to get this while you have the woman-up advantage. Mariners trying to force them, and an unforced error thanks to the pressure by the Mariners. And that time Isabella De Silva forcing an ill-advised pass.
And here's Stoddard just cutting her way up through the middle of the field.
Wow, so much speed.
And Benoit trying to come through defensively. Just kind of pinched off Stoddard on that one. I don't think she was trying to kind of wipe her out. Was just trying to cut off her angle.
Yeah, it looked like there wasn't really any contact up top near the head or anything. I think the feet just got tripped up from Benoit. And they're actually going to get Riley Menard with the initial foul that will give it will be even right now. but then they'll get a woman-up opportunity for about 30 seconds.
Stoddard trying to cut her way through the middle. Going to slow this one down. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mariners just let this clock run down until they can have the woman-up situation.
Yep, and they got plenty of time to do it.
You're going to have just about 25-ish seconds, I think, on the clock. Maybe a little more than that.
And the Eagles kind of just letting it happen. They're not going to go with an ill-advised play and apply too much pressure here with the 2-goal lead. They're going to rely and trust their defense that they work on. You work on these woman-down situations all the time in practice, and you know that Amanda DeHaze and this team trusts it.
You're going to try to get a shot off here in the next 20 seconds. Obviously, it's going to take a minute for Maynard to get back in towards goal.
8 seconds on the power play.
Stoddard trying to cut her way inside. Here comes Maynard. And Eagles back to even strength here, managing to survive.
Several power play kills for the Eagles in this one. That's huge. That can save the game for you if your woman-down defense is able to make those stops. Wow, what a defensive play there by Heth.
And you couldn't ask for a better possession there for the Eagles defensively. Ran down a bunch of the clock in that regard, and then additionally managed to kill out the penalty. And now you have possession on the offensive end.
Witten makes a pass that kind of goes a little bit low, but stays behind Bemke to retain it after she lost the ball. And it keeps the ball in the offensive end for the Eagles. They're going to work from behind the net again. This has been dangerous all day. They work behind the net and then get that feed into the middle.
Benoit to Lengel. Lengel's going to pull it back out. Now finding Bemke. And that one, Baker gets run over right in the middle of the field. She might get a free position from a really good angle here, Max.
Yeah, she's going to get it right in front of the net. This is going to be her best shot. And from those side angles, that's more where you pass it this time with Baker and how good she is from the free position line. You know she's going to rip this one.
Baker going up towards the middle, and that one just wide. I'm not sure if it got poked out or if she took the shot.
It was a nice stick check, actually. It was a nice stick check, I believe, from Hadley Stoddard in the middle there. She didn't even make her. She was right in front of the net, and a nice stick check forced it onto the ground, and it rolled back out. And another turnover. A lot of violations in this game. So many whistles we've seen in this first half.
About 30 seconds left here in the first half of action. This one into Baker, and Baker makes it 3 for the Eagles, 9-6, as Husson takes their biggest lead of the contest.
That was an impressive feed from Jordan Lengel, working around the far side of the net, playing out real wide, and just lays it up to Baker, who puts her stick up high in the air, catches the feed, works inside against the defense and the pressure, and gets it on the left shoulder of the goaltender. And so a 3-point Eagles lead, the largest lead we have seen in this game.
That's the second goal of the game for Baker to go along with an assist. Lengel with a couple assists of her own. Definitely see Lengel's adapting to the game a lot more. Remember last season, towards the end of the year, you kind of started to see, she just kind of started to come into her own a little bit on the lacrosse field.
Lengel came into this game with no assists. She's got 2 now. And last year, that was also kind of one of her strong suits outside of the draw control, was the way that she's able to feed the ball inside and find those open teammates. Haven't seen much of it this year, but off to a real strong start today.
Eagles trying to make it one more here right before the end of the half, but now a chance for the Mariners.
They're going to work quick. Time will stop off the foul. Here comes a card, and it's going to be on Gracie Gardner.
Yeah, and I think for Lengel, like you said, with the passing, some of that probably comes down to some of the...
Oh, Gracie Gardner thought that one was on her. I did too. Saw her running off the field real quickly, but it's actually on Layla Martinez.
but kind of that basketball IQ, I think, definitely helps Lengel out a little bit in terms of the passing, just being able to see those lanes a little bit better. It's like being kind of in the paint that you're trying to kind of cut inside like that.
Court vision, field vision, doesn't matter. She's got the vision, and she did on that last feed to Avery Baker. And turnover by the Mariners, but luckily the half ends.
So Martinez will have minute 50 left on her penalty coming back out of the half. The Eagles, though, big second quarter of action there, Max. Wound up scoring 6-3 over the Mariners in that second quarter and taking a 3-goal lead into the half.
This is best case scenario for the Eagles, having a 3-goal lead against the best team in the North Atlantic Conference so far. The Mariners are going to find a way to respond and make this game close, but the Eagles off to the start they wanted.
And me and Max will be back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network in about 10 minutes of action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone, to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Henningsen alongside Max Sturm here. Eagles, big second quarter of action, wound up taking the 9-6 lead into the half and are going to look to hold on to that 3-goal lead here in the second half.
Yeah, and you could look at these stats from the first half, and everything is pretty much exactly even. As far as turnovers go, both teams have 13 caused turnovers. Both teams have 6 saves. The goaltenders have made 4 on each side for both teams. Just all around, the stats pretty even, but the Eagles have converted on all 3 of their woman-up opportunities so far in this match, and I think that might have been the difference, as the Eagles are going to get another opportunity right here. Remember, they're playing down right now, though.
Also, 8 more shots in that first half of action than the Mariners for the Eagles. Obviously leads to more goals. Eagles right now trying to kill the final 30 seconds of this penalty.
Yeah, and they're just going to work it around the backside of the crease here. Play it out wide, not force anything into the middle quite yet. Or maybe they will.
And they tried something there on that one just 14 seconds before the penalty runs out.
And the Mariners surprisingly not urgent to get down the field. They had a chance, and here's a pick.
That one, great stick work from Bemke, I believe. And now Baker with it, and the Eagles back to even strength here as Martinez streaks back out there. And that one, a missed reception there from Whidden. I think that turnover is going to go against her.
Martinez is going to take Sledge down the sideline here, one of the speediest players, and she'll get to the ball first off the turnover.
That one, Scoraro coming up from the offensive side, almost knocked it away last second.
So now what's your game plan if you're the Eagles? You got a 3-point lead, right? I think it's what we talked about at the end of that first half. It's just working it around, taking some of the time off that clock. But obviously, if you find those open shots or feeds inside, lay it in there and give them a chance to score.
Yeah, the Eagles are at that point where you don't need to force anything right now, Max. You're going to take the opportunities that are given to you, and if you have a good shot, obviously you're taking it, trying to make it a 4-goal lead. But I think you're not going to try to, when you're down 3 goals, you might be trying to force some shots in, take a shot that you might not normally take. And I'm sure that's what Coach DeHaze told the Eagles at halftime.
Yeah, it's just don't force anything, because 3 goals, I hate to say it, it's nothing in the game of lacrosse. Right now it seems big because this game has been so back and forth all game long. But now you've got a 3-point lead, but you can't think that means you win the game or you got the real heavy advantage. This game can flip in an instant. We've seen it happen in the first quarter, second quarter. And if you're the Mariners on the other side, you wonder what their game plan is. You'd think, okay, yeah, you got to fire in goals and keep yourselves in this game. But honestly, they can take their time too. They can really settle it down and run the plays that they have practiced all week long in preparation for this game against the Eagles. They knew it was going to be a battle, and they know they have to fight their way back into it.
Toby Stoddard, who's just going to turn on the Jets.
That's just crazy.
Send it up the field. She's going to get hit in the head there by Bemke.
Oh, man. Bemke feeling instant regret from that one. You know that wasn't intentional, but nonetheless, a hard hit taken by Stoddard. Oh, my goodness. You hate to see that.
Yeah, it looked like she just I think she was trying to reach out her stick and kind of just get in front of her. It looks like Stoddard back to her feet here.
So a 2-minute woman-up opportunity coming for the Mariners. We hope that Stoddard is okay. She's going to walk off the field.
Looks like she's staying out there.
Oh, wow. Great job. Just fighting through this adversity. That one did not look very pretty, but she's going to stay out there. Super tough player is Hadley Stoddard.
And if I remember from soccer, I believe she wears like a headband up around the eyes, so probably took some of the brunt of that. But the Eagles will now be 2 players down here against this Mariner squad for the next minute 40. Those 2 penalties pretty much back to back.
Lengel made a great play against Stoddard, who was working her way, slicing and dicing her way towards the net once again. We've seen her do that several times. This time Lengel puts a nice stick check on, forces the ground ball, but inevitably ends up knocking a player down.
It's going to be a free position attempt here. This one wide, though. Eagles a chance to try to scoop this up. Still 2 players down here. This is just difficult if you're the defense, as Stoddard's going to draw that foul.
And Stoddard will get a lot of space here to shoot. But you know that they're going to close in quick on her.
And Stoddard sends that one home, knocked to the floor. But she'll make it a 9-7 lead now for the Eagles, that is.
Hazel Stoddard with her first goal of the game had a kind of a quiet first half. You saw her lay in a few assists, I believe. Yeah, she had 2 assists in that first half, and netting her first goal there off the free position play, just was able to outrun those Eagles defenders on her way to the net and bounce it inside for the goal to bring it within 2.
So the Mariners capitalizing on having a couple extra players out there on the field. That looked like 2022 Eagles lacrosse out there.
And take a look at it now. This penalty is not released. That is an unreleasable penalty. So they will serve the entire 2 minutes, 1:31 remaining on that for number 11, Bemke. And this is not a good start for the Eagles on the man down as Stoddard comes away with the face-off draw.
And then Stoddard's just going to go right ahead again here. She's going to get knocked to the floor. I saw a couple flags come out. The Eagles could get put in another situation here.
They're going to. So much contact being laid out. Well, I don't think they're going to take anybody out for a penalty. The Eagles really lucky there. That looked like a hit that would result in a 2-woman down situation.
And that one blocked away by Began at the line. And now back out to Hazel Stoddard. And she's going to draw the foul here.
Stoddard's going to get another chance here. And this could bring the game back within 1.
And Stoddard, that one scooped up by Began. She's just trying to heave this one up the field. Good pass out to the right side. Eagles back down to just 1 player down as Bemke back out there.
Unbelievable stick work by Emma Began on both those possessions. First making the save up high on the shot from Hadley Stoddard, and then taking that one away from Hazel Stoddard on her second free position attempt. And the Eagles back in the offensive zone, still woman down, but we'll call the timeout here to assess what they want to do.
And we'll take a quick break here as Coach DeHaze goes over some offensive strategies with their squad. And welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Henningsen alongside Max Stern. What do you think the two coaches telling their teams during that timeout, Max?
Well, remember, the Eagles still fighting this woman down play right now, still 40 seconds on it. So on the offensive end, you're kind of just holding it. You need to get back to even strength. Don't force anything. Don't make passes inside. Just work it around the outside. On the defensive side, however, for the Mariners, maybe you're trying to apply a little bit of pressure. You have an opportunity to bring this game back within one goal if you can quickly get a turnover and run it down. Their transition offense has been fantastic today, using the speed of Stoddard and several others to get down there and find the back of the net. So with 40 seconds, you've got plenty of time to make a play. So I think you're going to see some pressure here from the Mariners.
So back underway here. About 30 seconds left on this penalty for the Eagles to kill.
Mariners are not going to show that much pressure, actually. Eagles can kind of just work it up towards the top of the restraining box here.
I'm surprised they're even pushing in as far as they are.
I know, you can work it back all the way to that red line. But regardless, smart play from the Eagles, just trying to get that penalty killed off. 9 seconds on it. They're going to come back to even strength and have just about 30 to make something happen with the shot clock.
And Bemke heading back out there.
Working behind the net again, Witten. And more cutters going through. You saw Baker work that time. See if anyone cuts through from the far side.
About 10 seconds left here on this one. That one passed too far in, and Bo's collecting it.
Martinez looking for Benoit on that one, and it just rolls by, and Bo's able to pick that one up and lay it out for her teammates. Ball on the ground here, though. Heavy pressure might be effective if you're the Eagles, and here's Gardner with that.
That one sent up the field. The Eagles right now trying to stop the Mariners from pushing it up over midfield. That's Wong with it. Wong trying to put on some speed here against Boyd.
Boyd's going to chase her down, and the rest of the Eagles' defense will fall in and accept that. They took a lot of time off that clock. More than half of the shot clock taken off just in that transition. So good job by the Eagles at least killing off some of that shot clock. The Mariners will have to work a little bit quicker now. So Mariners are going to work it behind the net again, and this is what they've been doing all game, and then finding players in front of the net or using the speed from the outside of that shot box. Scalaro, who has 3 on the game, kind of the one in control.
That one a shot wide. We'll see who gets there first for the Eagles. So it's going to be the Mariners. There's just about no time. Right now the shot clock showing 0.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder if they're going to put something back on. No, they're going to switch possession. Eagles fight off a Mariners squad that's looking to get back into this one. They did not work quick enough.
Began's going to go out wide here. That one inside to Bemke. Nice little side pass there to the far end of the field.
Yeah, that was a beauty of a pass up into the offensive zone for Layla Martinez. Or that's not Martinez, that was Witten, rather.
Yeah, that far side of the field right now, just because of the lighting, it's kind of difficult to read the Eagles' numbers. Kind of going off of play style. So it'll be Benoit here in the middle of the field with the free position attempt. He's going to take the shot from distance. That one saved off the keeper's stick. And it looks like the Mariners are going to get there first.
A good track down there, but on the free position shot, Benoit opts not to run all the way to the net. I think they understand that the Mariners have done a really good job closing in on the free position shots when they do run to the net. Several have been stopped here tonight, so Benoit takes one step and decides to opt for a power shot into the ground, but it goes just left of the net. I think a timeout here taken.
And I think the Mariners trying to talk something over. We'll take a quick timeout here as well and be right back on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. And welcome back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Timeout there from the Mariners. Right now pinched all the way down in their own corner. Got about 100 yards to get back to the other end of the field and try to get a scoring chance.
Yeah, this is a tough position for the Mariners for sure. I think that's why they take their time out, but now the Eagles setting up in that corner, trying to force a turnover. Eagles still up 2 in this one. Mariners have kind of had a dry spout since that goal from Hazel Stoddard. And just trying to get out of it now are the Mariners.
They're managing to find the open pass on that far side. It's one of the defenders trying to bring it up the field.
Yep, that's Sledge getting it off to Caitlin Lamb. Fantastic job clearing the ball all the way coast to coast. It's really hard to do that when you're packed into the corner like that. And they find a way to make it work, and I think their speed is a testament and a reason why they were able to get down the field that far, that quickly, despite the pressure put on by this Eagles defense.
So driving inside, that one just wide of the goal, I think.
And there is going to be a violation inside. I believe. Oh, it's going to actually be on the Mariners. Bella Scolaro, that's why she had her hands up. Surprised to get a call there.
I think it's probably on that same dangerous shot that we talked about earlier. It's not really allowed to take. I think it's to protect the defender's safety. It's similar to the shooting space on the opposite end of the field.
Yep, I think just the shot maybe a little bit too close, hitting the ground, the defender in front. There's not a lot of protection for these players out there apart from the headgear. So a good call, make the safe play. Eagles with a woman up opportunity.
And great passing there on that one. Baker one-on-one, now trying to cut inside. He's going to go back outside to Gardner, who tried the shovel shot, and it's going to go back to the Mariners as good hustle on the far side by the defense.
Wow, what vision from Avery Baker to turn around and find Gracie Gardner working inside, just unable to get it to convert. Here's that display of speed again on the far side by this transition offense for the Eagles. And Stoddard, this time Hazel Stoddard, gets the advantage in the first step.
They have about a minute left on that penalty, and I think we'll see the Mariners just hold on to possession here.
Yep, that's the smart move. Just wait till you can get back to even strength. After this one's done, they're not going to have too much time on the shot clock, about 3 or 4 seconds, but maybe you take a shot towards the end of it where it doesn't matter, and you can actually might be an advantage to have your player make their way back onto the field towards the middle area, towards this half line when you're back in transition defense.
They're going to cut inside. That one a shot too high. And it looks like the Mariners are going to stay with possession here.
And that's going to be Sydney Heth getting a stick on that shot. And the Mariners lucky to get that one back. And
Began managed to get her stick on that one. So the Eagles deflecting away a couple. About 10 seconds left here on the clock. That's Hadley Stoddard going to try to loop her way around the net. It's going to have to take a shot here in the next 5. And they score.
She drilled that shot, making her way from one side of the field to the other, right in the crease and finding some open space once she was off of it. Holy, what a great score from Hadley Stoddard, working it herself, unassisted. And that was on the man down, or the woman down situation, able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, Stoddard just held on to that one, looped it all the way around, took that shot with about a second left on the shot clock. Kind of a buzzer beater there. So that will make it 8-9 all of a sudden, Max. And it's been a productive third quarter of action here for the Mariners. Have kept the Eagles off the board for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot of offensive play like we saw in that first half. However, it's been smarter offense by the Mariners, making these plays work, and they've been down several times as far as personnel goes, and they take advantage of a turnover on the other end by the Eagles and kind of keep it in their own zone. As the shot clock was winding down, who do you give it to? Probably your fastest player, Hadley Stoddard, who makes her way around the crease and brings the game within 1. So here you go with the Mariners again, getting another possession with a chance to tie the game, but heavy pressure put on by the Eagles.
That was Baker who managed to get a stick on. And that's a foul there on Magana, as it will be back over to the Eagles here. That's going to be a foul right back again by the Mariners. So I think this one's going to have to go back to Martinez to reset play.
Yep, and Martinez is just going to take off. She has some options over, though, as they close in, trying to get it to Lengel, who's able to scoop it up off the ground ball.
Yeah, Lengel has not made many friends out there on the field. There's been people kind of flying all over the place around her.
It's been a physical game altogether. We've seen several hits that have just been really, really almost dangerous looking.
I mean, what do you expect between a Husson and Maine Maritime game, Max?
Absolutely right. We talked about this being a personal rivalry. These teams do not like each other in the slightest.
This one sent inside, shot and score. Bemke for the Eagles. That cutting in ball has been working all day for Husson.
And the Eagles' 2 top goal getters on the season working together on that one. Baker taking it behind the crease and sees Bemke cutting in instead of riding the rest of the crease as we have seen her do for the majority of the day. She feeds it in early to Bemke, who puts on a quick shot in the top corner of the net and brings the lead back up to 2 for the Eagles and gets them to double-digit scoring.
Yeah, and that's a big goal there for Husson. Kind of gives them a little bit of momentum back on the offensive end of the floor.
Yep, it was about roughly 12 minutes, 11 and a half, 12 minutes of no offensive scoring or production for the Eagles, and they get it back right there. And we're back to where we were at, or just about where we were at when we were at halftime. The Mariners within 2 now. And the draw control has not really changed all day, Avery. We've seen it be Stoddard and Lengel working that draw control circle all day. I think, or sorry, actually, that's Caitlin Lamb working the circle now.
Yeah, and Lengel's really been pretty dominant in the middle for the Eagles in this one. Has kind of been controlling the pace of the play from that face-off position. And that one's going to get given back over to the Mariners by the Eagles as they try to put a shot on there.
And wow, what a pass.
And a big hit there from Boyd.
We have seen Jory Boyd lay some bodies out today, but that one, the biggest hit of all, putting Karen on the ground. Luckily, she's going to get back up. I wonder what's going to happen there because that was an aggressive hit. Jory Boyd, this would be detrimental, has been one of the best defenders for the Eagles all day. She's going to get a red card. A 5-minute penalty for the Eagles. Wow. Avery, this is huge.
And that was a big hit, but it was also kind of looked like it was almost kind of within the realm of the legality in terms of women's lacrosse because she had her feet planted and was in front of her and just kind of put her stick. She didn't extend the stick at all. Just kind of lowered the shoulder into her.
It's a really tough call to make. I think that the hit probably would classify as the penalty that they have assessed here. Both players were moving at the time, and there was force exerted on that hit. Unreleasable 5-minute penalty. You have an opportunity, if you're the Mariners, to score multiple goals on the woman up power play right here. So what will they do? What is their plan? We'll see it play out here.
Well, it's going to be unreleasable as well, Max. So if the Mariners here can score and then get the ball right back, they're just going to stay out of woman up situation.
Hazel Stoddard trying to make something happen is quickly met by Lengel and Martinez. However, they draw a violation inside, and here's going to be their first free position opportunity, working quickly on the penalty.
And that one, shot and score. Hazel Stoddard, that is, getting her second of the contest.
Stoddard sisters working well in this second half. Each of them 2 goals on the game. Hazel Stoddard, both of them in this third quarter. And like you said, Avery, now that Mariners have a chance to work back into this one on this unreleasable penalty that the Eagles have committed, they have a chance to tie the game or really even take the lead with how much time this penalty is set for. Still 4:43 on the clock for this power play.
Yeah, that's a game-changing penalty right there, Max.
It is.
And obviously, I think Boyd's just trying to make the defensive play there, but it's also one of those ones you're 40 yards out from goal. I think you could definitely have allowed, maybe been a little bit less aggressive on the tackle there.
You apply the pressure, but it's, I don't think she meant to lay the hit the way that she did. That was a really tough hit by Boyd, but I think you're right. Absolutely should have kind of just fallen in or, just put a stick out there instead of laying the body. But this is good for the Eagles right here as Lengel comes away with a huge draw control win, and they can try and kill off at least some of this penalty.
Well, Husson giving this one right away back.
A big fast break opportunity coming now for the Mariners.
The Eagles trying to scramble back on defense. Obviously, woman down. There's going to be someone open. That one off the crossbar. And it looks like Martinez is going to be able to scoop it up on the far side and try to bring it up the field now for the Eagles. But again, another missed pass in transition. And Husson just needs to settle down right now a little bit, Max. Obviously, you're feeling that woman down situation.
Yeah, and they're going to tire themselves out if they keep running the way that they do. You got to just be smart in transition, and they have not been in this since this penalty has been put on, but somehow still able to come away with it as Natalie Witten secures the ground ball, and now the Eagles finally can sit down and relax for a sec.
Yeah, that was a great box out there from Witten. They're going to be able to try to take this one down to about 10 seconds left in the half. Or in the third quarter, that is.
I think you should be playing out as far as you can if you're the Eagles. Use that entire restrainer box. You are just trying to kill this penalty. You can take off just about a whole minute of it with by possessing.
That one inside to Baker. The Eagles still trying to drive inside.
Yeah, that's surprising to me. That could have been a good play if Baker came away with it, but instead you're allowing a fast break on the other side and a potential game-tying goal.
This one being sent up the field. Heth tracking all the way back here. So the Mariners know they have plenty of time to just kind of set up into an offensive group. Shot clock doesn't really matter here with the game clock underneath it.
Yep, 30 seconds to work it around. You still got about 2:15 left on that penalty. And when you come back, have roughly 40 seconds to work.
That one sent inside, and it's going to be Began who's going to eventually scoop it up. Just going to heave this one up the field. Going to find Baker with the pass. Now up to Gardner. Going to fumble that one for a second, but has possession still. Eagles under 4 seconds here. I think you might just think about keeping possession.
Had an opportunity at the fast break there, but when unable to corral it. And Eagles really lucky to get out of that quarter without giving up another goal.
So it won't come out of the third quarter here. I think about minute 40 left on that penalty. Eagles with possession. We'll see if they can try to hold on to it. And welcome back to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Henningsen alongside Max Sturm here. Minute 56 left on that penalty. Tori Boyd done for the game.
Yeah, we just learned some shocking information. She is done for the game, ejected. One of the better defensive players on that side of the ball for the Eagles will not return to this one. But the good news for the Eagles is it's not a woman down for the rest of the game. They can have someone sub in and play that position for Jory Boyd, which is huge in a game this close.
Right now the Eagles holding on to a 1-goal lead. Lengel's been pretty dominant in the center circle here, especially in the second half.
And Stoddard's back in there. Great flip to Maddie Benoit.
So the Eagles will be able to milk off about another, pretty much the rest of that penalty, if they want to.
They look pretty aggressive on this offensive side, though. Working it inside quick. That Baker is forced out there on a good play by Velzo. But they are trying to find a way inside. I think they're just looking to extend this lead, Avery. I think they're feeling a little bit uncomfortable with what they've given up in that third quarter, and they're just trying to get a quick start here in the fourth.
Well, a one-goal lead is not something, obviously, Lacrosse can score in bunches, but I think the Eagles would like to keep it at least a couple so you can mess up once and still be okay. That's going to be a turnover there on Bemke.
Yep, it's going to be Bemke, and she'll come back and make the play.
Going to take it right back here. So, honestly, might work out in the Eagles' favor. They have enough time now to run that penalty out and still have 30 seconds left on the offensive end.
That was a awesome effort by Bemke. Having the violation there, turning it over, and immediately making up for it with the strip of the stick there and grabbing the ball and keeping it in the offensive possession.
They're going to cut inside to Benoit. That shot caught cleanly by Bose. She's done well. And this one, there hasn't been many where she's kind of deflected it but not kept possession. She's kind of kept a lot of them. And now Stoddard with the Jets. Eagles still a player down here for the next 20 seconds here.
They're going to close in, and Diversey's going to be pretty open, but the Eagles stop Stoddard and make her think about her decision on the pass. So she'll hold on to it. Eagles will settle. Fantastic job in defensive transition that time.
And the Eagles back to even strength here. Obviously, no more Boyd, but Kaylee Crocker, freshman, heading into the contest. I believe from my alma mater high school.
Crocker, 4 games played this season coming into this one. Hasn't seen a lot of time, but they do trust her out there. She's been able to make some plays, 4 caused turnovers in her career at Husson in her first year here.
This is Stoddard trying to cut around the outside.
Yep, and there's not enough shooting space there, so Stoddard's going to get a chance at the line.
Kind of a tough angle on that far side.
Yeah, we've seen her make it work a few times this season already. We'll see what happens.
She's going to pull it out, and that one it's sent back to the back end. About 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Trying to send something inside, and it's going to be scooped up by Began.
Layla Martinez met Stoddard inside and forced her back out, forcing a bad pass, and it ended up in the stick of Began, but the outlet pass is going to go out, so Mariners will take back over here. Heavy pressure was applied, but we're going to get a whistle. Stoddard's going to take off. So this time, Hadley Stoddard with a chance.
And this is a chance here to tie this one up. Stoddard with the shot blocked away by Began. Began again at the line, managing to keep the Eagles alive in this one.
Mariners working quickly. Began with an absolutely incredible save. Has had several of them today. Began splitting time last year in goal and has become the sole goalkeeper this year. And you can see just how much she's improved in her position, making incredible saves all day today.
That one sent inside. Began again at the line, knocks it away. That's 3 saves here in this last offensive push for the Mariners.
3 in a row, but the Eagles still unable to come away with the ball here.
And that one caught. What a shot there. I think that was Diversey who caught that one up around right the upper corner and then just put it right home in the upper corner.
Diversey left all alone on that post, and those doorstep shots, eventually one is going to find its way into the back of the net, especially with an elite scorer like Lillian Diversey. That's going to be her third goal on the game, and it ties this one up with just under 11 minutes remaining in the fourth period. That's her third goal, actually, so she gets the hat trick.
And Stoddard's hat trick on the assist column as well. It's really been the 4 players offensively for the Mariners. Stoddard with a couple goals, Diversey with 3, Scolaro with 3, and the younger Stoddard with 2. So not really moving, not kind of channeling their offense through those 4 players.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. A good job by the Eagles, or the Mariners rather, spreading the ball around. You've seen a variety of players find their way to the back of the net here today for a total of 10 goals to keep themselves in this one. Both teams spreading the ball well and getting it to all types of scoring threats.
This is not good again for the Eagles here, as Lengel's going to head to the sideline. Another one of the Eagles' best defenders.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. One of the Eagles' premier defenders out there is going to sit on the sideline for 2 minutes. And another opportunity now for the Mariners to score, but this time with a chance to take the lead. This is a huge woman-up situation in power play for MMA. We'll see what they decide to do on the offensive end and how the Eagles respond on defense. Martinez forced her all the way out. Forced attacker all the way out.
Yeah, and these penalties have really been the story of the game, Max. Obviously, 2 really strong teams out there, but the Eagles have just kind of been woman down a few too many times in this one.
Yeah, it started with the Mariners having a lot of penalties, and then the Eagles getting called for a lot here and there in the second half of this game. And it's really been detrimental to them. Remember, they came into the second half with a 3-goal lead, and these penalties have been a huge reason why they've given that up.
And Stoddard trying to cut inside. She's going to force the shooting space penalty. You see that so much in women's lacrosse.
Stoddard is so good at drawing those fouls. Like you said, just kind of stepping in and making that happen. She'll get another chance from a premier spot. She'll get another chance here. Believe it was a bit of a false start on Martinez, getting a little bit too big of a jump.
And Began blocks that one away. Done a good job in this one at just kind of getting in front of a lot of shots.
They're all trying to corral around it as it's on the ground. Mariners able to come away with it. That's Diversey. The Mariners have been so good at getting the rebounds off of these free position shots and maintaining possession.
About 20 seconds left here on this penalty. Hazel started with the ball at the top. That one up top. And shot and score. The Mariners take the 1-goal lead here with 8:50 left. Story of the penalties, Max.
Yep, the penalties are absolutely killing the Eagles. That has been...
Really, for both teams, there's been a lot of woman up, woman down goals for both these squads.
Yeah, but the Eagles doing it with the 3-point lead that they have, it's killed them. And now they're a goal down here with 8:48 or 8:50 remaining in the game. That goal coming from Bella Scararo this time.
Her 4th of the contest.
Scararo entered this game with just 2 goals on the season, having a career game versus the Eagles on the road with a chance to put this game away now. The Eagles are really going to need to win some of these draw controls as well, Avery.
Well, Lengel's been dominant in the middle. Now it's Bemke out there, but that's Benoit leaping up and making the athletic play on that one. Eagles back to even strength here.
Benoit was one of the players last week that was close to breaking a record against the VTSU Linden Hornets. She was 2 draw control wins away from breaking the single game record. She's been elite in that category.
That one shot from Baker, but grabbed by Bose. Managed to get her stick right on that one. And again, Max just keeping it right in front of her and keeping possession.
Yeah, and that's a tough shot for Baker. You know, she's falling backwards. It's hard to really put a bounce on that shot. So it ends up going directly into the goalie's stick. And you got to give Bowser credit, too, just standing tall and making a great save.
And great defensive play there by Bemke. She gets in front of that one. Knocks the ball free, and the Eagles chance here again on the offensive end.
And you do not need to rush here. Run your plays, run them through, and make sure you get the absolute best opportunity and scoring chance that you can. They were really successful early in this game when they were making cuts through the middle. They haven't done that as much in this second half. I really think they should go back to it. And there's one from Baker.
Wynn trying to take a little bit of her space there. Baker inside to Benoit with the shot. And again, the save from Bose. She gets her stick in front of that one yet again.
Bose, just an incredible game. What more can you say? Has made doorstop shot after doorstop shot over and over and over again. And the Mariners now back in the offensive zone with their 1-point lead. Clock winding down. Still 7 minutes remaining. But like we talked about, you can run this clock to a certain point and take away time, and the more goals you add on, like we said, it's about a minute, right, that you can really take away from a team with every goal.
Surprised the Eagles didn't do this same strategy when they were trying to run some of the clock down. Mariners right now just standing in the corner, running this one down to about 30 seconds.
Well, what's even more surprising to me is that the Eagles are not applying that pressure, because if you sit here and you stay stagnant on defense and then they come away with a goal at the end of the shot clock, then you've just wasted a bunch of time when you're down.
And they're going to draw the shooting space penalty yet again here. Looks like it's going to be Diversey trying to get her fourth of the contest.
Going to be a false start.
That's going to be on the Mariners, so the Eagles getting possession back here on the mistake.
And that was so lucky for the Eagles. Diversey gets a little bit of a jump and a little bit too much of a start, but they take it away again. Wow. The Mariners get away with a break there. And again, just stalling out in the alley here. Man, you really would like to see some pressure if you're the Eagles. They are wasting time away. This is the Mariners' game plan, Avery.
Yeah, I think just the Mariners trying to draw the Eagles out of the middle here, but at the same time, they're more than okay with just letting this one run down. This one sent back into the middle, shot there, missed wide. And it's going to stay with the Mariners.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking for, just running down the clock and finding opportunities in the middle of the shooting circle there. That was a good one, just bounces over the net.
That one up over the top, off the crossbar again. That one popped straight up in the air, Max. Just inches. I'm not sure how many people have kind of looked at a lacrosse goal, but those bars are probably really only an inch or two across.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space to hit it, but I'll tell you from experience, there is a lot of, it happens more often than you'd think.
Bemke kind of hit in the head on that one. Going to give it out to Gardner. About 4 minutes left here in the contest. Baker cutting inside. I think she wanted to be able to take the shot on that one.
Yeah, she's going to have a better opportunity on that chance right there that she had than this really low angle shooting position or free position shot. Now, do you pass it here or do you just go to the net? We'll see what she does.
I think Baker, one of your best scorers, is going to pass it to the backside. That one too high. It will stay with the Eagles, though.
You have a good job backing that one up, but
that was Gardner with a golden chance. Back out to Baker. Baker cutting inside.
She was looking for the shovel.
I think she was trying to loop that back around and have kind of that backhand shot at it. It's going to be a foul on Martinez on the far side. The Eagles now, I think you got to play that pressure defense.
Yep, you are pressuring whoever has the ball. And a huge mistake by the Mariners gives Eagles possession.
Eagles ball back here, 3.5 minutes. Down 1 to the Mariners.
Gonna pick it up, and remember, you don't gotta work too quickly here. Be smart in your possession. 75 seconds to make a play.
This one out to Benoit.
Benoit's gonna get a chance at the free position line, and she's one of the best shooters in the free position.
Benoit chance here to tie this one up at 11 apiece. It's going to cut to her left. Gets it knocked away right at the last second, but scooped right back up by Bemke. I think the Mariners might have caught the bottom of her stick on that one.
The Mariners have done such a good job closing in on those free position shots.
And Baker back out to Lengel. 47 seconds here on this possession. Wynn trying to draw a penalty here. This one up top. I believe that's Bemke with it. Bemke faking the shot. Missed pass on that one. And the Mariners a chance to scoop this one up.
And here comes the pressure now. You got to go all out. Another whistle. It's a timeout taken by the Mariners.
So timeout here. 2:13 left in the contest. The Mariners with possession. 90 seconds on the shot clock. Theoretically, Max, if you're the Mariners, you can run this one down to about 43 seconds left. I think the Eagles, though, are going to play a lot tighter defense.
You absolutely have to.
At this point.
You have to find a way to force a turnover. You had an opportunity to score and tie this game up with a little bit of extra time. Now you don't have that chance. The Mariners can really run this one out. This team was down 3 goals coming out of halftime, has found a way to bounce back, take a 1-goal lead. The Eagles do not want to see that happen. Them walk away with a win. This is the North Atlantic Conference on the line. This could be a huge tiebreaker down the line, and it's for first place at the time or at the moment.
Yeah, talk about a halftime adjustment, though, for the Mariners as well, Max. You had the Eagles score 6 in that second quarter, and now since the second half, it's been 5-1 for the Mariners, blanking the Eagles here in this fourth period. Obviously, that 5-minute penalty was a huge moment, kind of turning point in this game. I believe the Mariners were down 1 or 2 prior to that and are now up 1.
And it just speaks to what David Keenan has done for this team and the way he's able to adjust to halftime, or how he's able to make halftime adjustments. Remember, he coached at St. Joseph's College of Maine, where he came away with a 13-0 conference record, 20-1 on the year in 2022. He knows how to coach a team to victory, and you don't go 20 games without playing down at any point in the season. So you know that he's had experience with this before, and he's showing it right now.
And the two teams coming out of the timeout huddles here. 2:13 left. It's actually 88 seconds on the shot clock. So I think the Eagles can theoretically get it back with 45 seconds if they don't force that turnover prior to that.
Well, and you also have to not give up the goal, because if you give it up, then the 2-goal game under a minute left, it's not impossible, but it's going to be incredibly hard to find a way to chop back at that.
So you can see the Mariners setting up here. The Eagles have the double team working on the player with the ball right now.
That's the smart move. Get a stick on.
So it's Gardner.
Got to make this pass just hard.
Gardner and Wynn working against Karen. Karen managing to cut through the middle of them. She's just taking some hits through the middle of the field.
Getting through a ton of defenders. There's the loose ball. Eagles are going to have a chance.
And the late whistle on that one.
And it's against the Eagles. No, it's against the Mariners.
Pointing Husson way. And that one, a missed pass trying to find Martinez. Magana, little soccer move on that one, scoops it up. Theoretically, you can get it back with about 5 to 6 seconds, I think.
Well, there should be all-out pressure right here. You have to get this ball back. You can't wait to have it down at 30 seconds or even less than that. There should be so much pressure on the ball right now. I am so surprised to not see it. There's the pressure finally coming from Maynard. They've got to get on it. They have to put a stick on. They're just stalling out in the corner. Less than a minute remaining now.
This is Hadley Stoddard with it. He's kind of looping around in the middle of the field. The Eagles just, it's difficult to take the ball off someone this far up the field without forcing or without drawing the penalty.
It might be your best move, though. They're not going to go in the shooting circle. The Eagles are going to have zero time to get this down, and a foul inside the shooting circle might just end it.
So Hadley Stoddard, or Hazel Stoddard, that is, chance to ice this one. Who else but Hazel Stoddard at this point?
Yep, started this game off slow and back in a position where she can close this one out if she can put it in the net. 9 seconds remaining. She's going to take some right here. Even if a save is made, Began's going to have to throw a laser and pray that someone's able to pick it up. Unbelievable turn of events in this fourth quarter. And she'll just hold on to it. That smart play for the Mariners, and that'll do it.
I think we're going to have, I'm not quite sure what happened right at the end of that. It looked like there was 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, it would be impossible to get it down there anyway. A well-fought game by both teams, but the Mariners come away with a huge victory and continue to hold their place as the #1 seed in the North Atlantic Conference.
And the Mariners back up to the top again here in the conference. Some big performances here from kind of the players that we knew were going to have big performances, Max. Hazel Stoddard with the 2 goals and 3 assists. Lillian Diversey, the 3 goals and an assist. And Bella Scolaro with the 4 goals. And Hadley Stoddard, another 2 on top of that. The Eagles spreading around a little bit more. We've had 6 different goal scorers in this one, but just a big second half from the Mariners wound up proving to be the difference maker. And I think the Eagles are going to be frustrated after that one, Max.
Yeah, you can see the looks on their faces. They're not happy about this loss, especially in this game against this team. So unfortunate to see them fall the way they did, but you got to give credit to the Mariners and the adjustments they made at halftime to stop the scoring. Only allowed 1 goal from the Eagles in this second half. Incredibly impressive.
And that will do it for us here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. We thank you all for joining us. I've been Avery Henningsen alongside Max Sturm. Make sure you tune in for the next broadcast.